Welcome back. I'm Penguin, and trouble's never too far away from me, so we're going to be bringing into the...
Just some safety.
Yeah, just from, you know, gotta be safe, of course, but we're going to be bringing you our fifth game of the day, which is going to be Misfits Premier versus Pompa team. Pompa team coming off of a great one, but Misfits Premier, we talked about it a little bit as well. They looked pretty damn good, and the LFL in general looks pretty damn good.
I think the LFL has come in with 3 incredibly strong seeds. Out of every major region coming in, I think they are the spotlight of having 3 teams in here. Because LDLC, they looked shaky, they made their way through already. Misfits have already made it through to playoffs, and Gamers Origin is to be decided also tomorrow, but they also look so incredibly strong.
The scary thing as well, when you're talking about the LFL, they might have 3 seeds all coming from number 1. The other, what I would regard as 2 major seeds in the likes of Doc and the Ultraliga, they're looking like they might lose some teams. Doc in particular hasn't yet qualified a team. Schalke unfortunately went down, and we're also looking at Gamer Legion, who are still in a tiebreaker this Sunday. So for LFL, like, Misfits, they've looked good. They did drop the Giants. Great to see Giants coming back into this. But, of course, for Misfits, this is kind of where you need to start pumping up your kind of adrenaline, because you might be going into a tiebreaker. It's going to be late in the day. You need to get that first seed.
I just want to see pure dominance.
Yeah.
I don't care what Pompa is going to pick, if they're going to go into their Assassins, if they're going to go into Comfort, if they're going to go into Fan. I just want to see Misfits being extremely strong, extremely decisive, knowing what they want to play, and just picking that. I want to see the strongest side of Misfits, because here, you're to assert dominance in the group. You're coming in as a #1 seed from the LFL, returning champion region, and you want to establish that very well with the other teams as well. Like, we are superior, and I think so far the LFL has looked superior. And Misfits is one of these teams where, yes, the LFL is quite inconsistent, and Misfits have been inconsistent too. And their games, you kind of see them going like this, kind of like at a Leah wave, but they've always pulled out the win from their pocket. It's just insane.
It has looked very, very good, despite kind of all the shortcomings, as we say, the random kind of question mark pings that go on certain plays, of course.
That's the funny thing, right?
Yeah.
We were having a conversation behind the scenes. We're like, Misfits do not turn on unless they turn on the machine, unless they're 5 or 6k goal behind. And that's where it's game for them. It's like they want to give the advantage to their opponents first and then smash them with it.
Yeah, and on the other side of the Pompa team, you are still playing for pride, of course. You are playing to kind of put a spanner in the works of the LFL, I suppose. Gives Giants Gaming the option of controlling their own destiny and pushing themselves without a tiebreaker. But I still think for Pompa team, there is positives to look for. I still think they looked bad up until literally that last game. But you look at, like, literally 4 out of 5 of these players, apart from defles, none of them have been at EU Masters before. It's an incredibly young team. This is kind of experience, and this is to show that you guys, as an Ultraliga, as a region, deserve that 3rd seed.
Also, there's a big difference between ending 4th and dead last in a group, and between ending 3rd and being like, oh, I was all that close to actually qualify, because that also gives a little bit of hope for the regions, like, oh yeah, we gave a 3rd seed to Ultraliga, but they almost made it out with a 3rd seed as well. So I do want to see Pompa also fighting really hard here, because, you know, when teams have nothing to play for, this is where they're most dangerous, and Pompa proved it in the previous game.
Yeah, everything to gain and nothing to lose as we jump into picks and bans. Misfits on the blue side with Pompa team on the red. Akali banned away. That's actually kind of interesting. I would have imagined that maybe Misfits would have looked to maybe trying to put that onto their mid laner Ronaldo, but they do not want Czajek to get that one either, and 2 Hook champions banned away as well.
I just don't feel like Akali would be a first pick for Misfits. There would be, I'm pretty sure there will be so many strong champions such as the Heracim or the Graves or an Ashe or a Caitlyn, even if it stays open because it hasn't been banned yet, that you could pick up. That means that you're giving over the Akali. And Akali has sort of dominated EU Masters.
They look good.
Split, yeah.
They've definitely looked good. But again, we talked about the Caitlyn, actually, it was more specifically, Cadril talked about the Caitlyn. It's almost like a bait. It's banned so often in scrims that you hear, like, do you even know how to play against it? Do you know your win conditions? Do you know your windows?
It's kind of like the Aphelios of the start of the season. It's like so many teams are banning Aphelios. ADCs don't know how to play Aphelios anymore.
Yeah, it was similar to Varus as well. There was just like, you know, permaban Varus.
Sure.
Why? The LPL's doing it. It must be good. And it's just kind of, well, hang on. What if we give it to you? What if we know we can beat it?
You have to sneak in the LPL.
Yeah, of course. gotta rep my boys sometimes. But looking at the final picks and bans, Ashe could be banned away, which means tells to me that Misfits are trying to force in either an Ezreal or a Senna, but
That's
no,
Caitlyn
Lucian and Caitlyn open pick potentially coming out for Misfits. Yeah, locked in.
Jezu did absolutely great on it today, and I don't see why not. Misfits are really good at getting priority. Caitlyn is really good at giving priority with the Caitlyn. Actually, I just said he did great. they didn't look great. I thought of a different Caitlyn. They
You
just
did.
looked,
I didn't want to correct you mid-point. But
yeah, but I'm going to correct myself straight away. He
Fantastic.
actually looked pretty weak versus Giants, but the Caitlyn overall has looked strong because he gains a lot of prior in the mid lane, but versus Bard and Ziggs, which is extremely clever for Pompa, it might struggle.
I like this a lot. Just pure
Orianna?
lane. Well, might as well be at some point, but I do quite like this. Gives you a lot of lane pressure, a lot of damage potential in those early skirmishes as well. You put any kind of jungle pressure down there, you're going to look for kills. And not only that, this is something that people kind of forget about Ziggs. Ziggs in the late game melts towers, like absolutely destroys them, and I'm really excited to. But having gone with that, you're looking at a pretty powerful lane, so we're going to see some fireworks in bot side.
I love you said that about the towers because I literally call Ziggs the AP Caitlyn because he's so good at pushing the wave and getting damage onto the tower because his passive does also damage onto the tower, and then he has the W to completely delete them below 20% I think it is. So they're kind of very similar, just different damage profiles.
And interesting enough, what was not banned for the first time in the group stage, the Camille. So we are finally going to see Sinmivak on a carry top lane champion. This looks like a Pompa team they know what they're doing. They're not wasting around time. They're picking what they want to play.
Absolutely. And here I would expect possibly a Galio ban coming in from Misfits. I think there is enough damage on the side of Pompa, and we're potentially going to see Bruness on something that is engaging as well. So the Galio mid with the Camille is an extremely great sort of wombo combo. Adding the Ziggs ult on there, that would be kind of like a death trap, so you gotta take him out.
You've got to try and go for something there, but they do ban away the Jax, ban away the Malphite as well. Basically saying we don't want anything that can point and click CC. We want to give Camille the best laning phase possible. I like it. I like the picks coming out here from the side of Pompa team. However, I'm looking at Misfits and I'm like, that's hella meta draft right there. That is like some of the most powerful picks in some of the, in some of these lanes right now, and it's feeling very difficult to see, kind of the pedigree of Misfits being overdone so far.
And even though a lot of people will disagree with me on why Morgana is not that strong, they're like, her black shield is, the cooldown is very long. I think it's about 24 seconds, and she can only, black shield one magic spell, and then the shield is just not fat enough for all that AP damage that's going to be coming in for the Ziggs. I find it such a saving grace for an ADC that doesn't get to build Edge of Night.
Yeah, well, you can, but I agree. It's not optimal.
It's not
definitely
optimal.
It's not part of her build path that you would go for that, and I agree with you.
It's just so oppressive in the lane, and there's more shields added to that equation. And the answer to why was Malphite banned was because they weren't gonna, Pompa wasn't gonna pick it because they had to prioritize their jungle here for the counter pick mid lane. That means that Misfits could pick the Orianna, and it would be extremely dangerous to have Orianna, Malphite, and Heracim. One of them was gonna guarantee that the shockwave hits.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And we do see the shockwave locked in with the Orianna, as well as Agresivoo going to get that Renekton up in top side. It's going to be, honestly, I love this from both sides because it's pure aggression from all sides. Both sides want to get lane kind of dominance. The Camille would want to get the kind of lane dominance and go for the split push, but the Sylas locked in here, so everything you can do, he can do better, apart from the Orianna shockwave, which is more just a sombrero.
Let me remind you how Ronaldo ruined Will of Gaming's run in this EU Masters with that stolen Heracim ultimate on the last second while Paris was almost last hit in his Nexus, so there's a bunch of great ultimates that you can steal, and my eyes fall straight onto that Heracim and the Morgana ult, because having a melee such as Sylas, being able to lock down multiple targets around you, that will guarantee a lot more damage that will land after.
Look, comps are locked and loaded. Looking at this straight away.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Pompa looking good.
Pompa looking like they might be able to do something. However, I have to be the Debbie Downer, as I like to say.
Yeah.
Previously, apart from literally that one last game.
Are you turning the nameplates on?
I have to turn the nameplates on. I really, really do. Because right now, like Misfits Premier, we talked about the LFL, we talked about how strong they've looked. Misfits just are that good sometimes. And this could be a 25-minute stomp that that Pompa are able to do nothing. Or it could go all the way similar to the first game.
We're talking LFL. There's not 25-minute stomps.
No, it's 36. According to yourself and Scoundrel, it's 36 always. But
hey man, that's what research says.
Yeah, oh, that's true. That's what all the research says. But ladies and gentlemen, we are on to the riff for our 5th game of the day. Pompa team playing for Pride. Misfits Premier playing for first seed in the group, trying to avoid some of the harder seeds coming out of the EU Masters. Definitely trying to avoid LDLC, who turned it on yesterday as the LFL, and they want to turn it on today.
Can I be completely honest here? I kind of feel that first and second seed in this particular EU Masters doesn't mean anything because there are teams that have stayed out already from playoffs that could contest any major region team, any first seed team that has come out of any region. It's been so stacked that it doesn't matter if you're first or second seed, you're guaranteed to play against an opponent that's extremely strong.
I agree. I will say though, I would, objectively as a fan of any team, I would rather first seed. Similar to like, you know, TSM going to Worlds. You want them as first seed. You don't want them going against, you know, top esports or Damwon, or even G2.
I mean, isn't the result going to be the same, man?
Don't do that to me, man. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me and my team. That's not cool.
All right. I'll let you for that one.
I don't think they'll win, but
I'll let you. You kind of wait the way, and you're like, come on, man.
I just, you know, you gotta hold out faith, even if you're, you know, Intrepid Fox. You get to play.
They told me not to shit talk an A when they can't reply.
That's
right?
true.
But you're a TSM fan, so you can technically reply for them.
Yeah, but I got nothing to say. Like,
got nothing to back you up.
I'm a TSN fan that, like, you know, used to cast the LPL. I've seen the LPL. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back, though. Let's bring it right back into this game. We are in Europe. We're in the EU Masters, and you can see already level 2 hit on this top side, and that's going to be early aggression from this Camille. Very nicely done. Agresivoo, for his name, has to play a bit passive.
I mean, at this point, you had the Camille that was one level ahead of you, so you definitely don't want to be taking any dangerous trades right here. And in general, Camille has so many nice matchups. One of them is Renekton as well, because you get the passive shield that is going to give you that much more survivability on the back and forth trades that you're having with Renekton. Something that is really important, though, that Renekton also does really well, is that on any jumping champions, because he has his stun, he's able to kind of trade you instantly on the spot and then get out.
See here, does Ronaldo walk a little too far forward? Volibear does jump in. They will not land the chain, which means that Ronaldo should be able to get out, but a flash has been burned.
And that is extremely dangerous, because if you look at his lane, it's actually pushing towards Czajek and playing a melee versus a ranged matchup for the Orianna. The Orianna wants to generally be pushing you under tower and sort of roaming around together with Heracim to give him some freedom.
And for Czajek as well, we mentioned him in the previous game, you mentioned him about previous series. This is the guy we kind of assumed would pop off for the side of Pompa team. This is the guy we wanted to see really rise up to kind of contest some of these...
Ultra Liga mid laners, man.
Yeah. Screw the Polish junglers, it's the mid laners as well.
It's the mid laners now.
Let's be honest, it's Poland, full stop. They've got a fantastic talent scouting system that just works for some reason. But I want to see if he's able to kind of go against this. Ronaldo, what I would argue, is probably his first real test after that first game that's really going to see, are you good enough to really kind of, you know, hang with the big boys?
Yeah, and he's pretty low on mana. You see how far behind he's chilling? Because he doesn't necessarily know the whereabouts of Bruness. And without a flash, without mana, you could go down so incredibly quickly to a Sylas Volibear combo right there. It's good, respectful play coming in from Ronaldo.
Does not want to give over a cheeky kill at any point in time. Man, this top lane just feels so one-sided as of right now. Agresivoo just trying his very best to keep himself relevant in the CS. You can see as well, Bruness just sitting around topside, making sure there's no shenanigans with the Heracim. Heracim, with that Ghost, can just do a lot of initial burst damage, getting that, you know, kind of extra AD from the movement speed. So you do not want to give that one over. And it's been pretty, I would say pretty calm right now so far. You can see right now Czajek not being allowed to freeze the wave.
He will.
Oh yeah, he will. That means that Ronaldo has to try and come back. Nope, he'll push it. And LS turns in his grave.
It's actually...
He's not dead, but...
Don't tell him, guys.
Yeah.
Do not tell LS about that one. Actually, I think it's a good call because Ronaldo has TP anyway. So he's going to get back to the lane. What, he will lose one, maybe, minion?
Just one. Or two, technically, but the XP...
Hey, that wasn't because he wasn't there. That was his fault, technically.
He gained one minion there.
Yeah.
He only got one.
Yeah.
That's only gold. He got the XP of the
So
others.
it's good for Czajek for pushing it and not freezing. Let's go.
I think it was...
Freezing not always good.
I don't think we want to open that can of worms.
Absolutely
that is a can of worms that has the community very divided, so I think we just got to move away from that one. But
Hey, I'm talking facts, man. I'm like, in this specific situation.
it's almost like it's done on a case-by-case basis, and it depends on what happens in the game or something. But whatever. I just see exactly how Misfits want to kind of progress themselves. They've got a lot of single-target CC with this Morgana. You can put down the trap as well. That's why the Caitlyn Morgana is such a potent lane in those early stages. Not really able to do much, though, at the moment, as I said. Sylas able to kind of keep the lane fairly even. We can see there Pyrka just roaming around trying to get himself, but he gets himself caught, knocked back, exhausted. Magical Journey going to go over, but he has no way of keeping himself alive, and that's going to be first blood going over to Misfits.
And that's the thing with Morgana. She might only have one spell to keep you pinned down, but if that one spell hits someone squishy and Heracim is on his way, he'll be more than happy to chase down and take that kill. And early kills on Heracim are kind of grim if you're Pompa, because this guy scales uncontrollably. The second he will have his Sheen, he's going to be a big threat, but Pompa want to instantly reply with a dive in the top lane.
They want to go for the reply. They have not got the Volibear ult just yet. Dominus has been popped. They will just lock down the Crocodile. They're going to see if they can just tank this one up as much as they can, but it's a trade back, and Czajek taking very low as well. He has to flash, and that is Agresivoo showing the power of this Renekton not going down.
I think Pompa absolutely blew this dive, because Czajek had Renekton's ultimate all this time and refusing to use it. It was a good idea, bad execution. You're diving in straight up. And I'm not sure where the Volibear pops the ultimate right there.
He hasn't got it. He's only level 5.
He's level 5!
Hasn't got the ultimate available. Cannot turn off the tower. Cannot get the extra stat.
Czajek doesn't even steal the ultimate up to now, but he's level 7. It was a big misexecution from Pompa, and Agresivoo will be more than happy with the result. Pulling in 3 people, killing one, and not dying, that's a win-win-win scenario.
And this is the power of the Renekton as well. We talk about, we see so many teams just first picking this champion. It is so dangerous.
I mean, the LPL is basically B1.
Yeah, absolutely. You either ban it or they pick it. That's the way it goes for it. But even around the world, we're seeing a lot of priority put onto this top laner because things like that can happen. Your Cull the Meat can give you so much health regen. It can give you so much sustain in a top lane, especially with the Dominus, that you can just turn around a fight. And for Misfits, that's fantastic. They are now 2 kills up, got themselves a 1,500 gold lead, and it just feels like Pompa Team have gone back to Pompa Team.
Something that I also really like about Renekton that's not been talked about a lot is the fact that you think in your head of a window where the Renekton's really strong. It's like the 2, maybe 3 items with the Death Dance. This is where he's peaking, right? And then he can't necessarily all in anyone, given in fact that everything is even in golden items, but he can play, oh boy, Targamas can't play.
Targamas will not be allowed to play League of Legends for at least a few more seconds as he goes into the grey screen. And that was just a smart little rotation. Bit of an overstep there from Targamas, getting himself a little bit too familiar with the Rift Herald and everyone around it. Gets punished pretty hard. Small silver lining for Pompa Team.
Yeah, so if Pompa Team are able to come back, let's say, and Renekton is not necessarily the killer off the back line, what he does do very well is play around his AD and create room with the Dominus and with the stands for anyone who wants to get anywhere near your Caitlyn. So Renekton is that oppressive early game side laner, a split push for the mid game, and a support for your ADC later on.
And overall, for Misfits, they've looked good and bad. As we said, they've been a bit of a roller coaster of emotions. If you watched that Giants gaming game earlier, you definitely saw some flashes of pure brilliance. You saw some absolute question mark
The Wheel
pings.
of Gaming game.
Yeah, the Wheel of Gaming game as well. Who is the rock for this team? Who is this, I hate saying it because it's a bit cliche, but who is the star player for these guys that people look to kind of make those plays when they do fall behind?
I think it's going to have to be Kirei. He had an insane performance on the Wheel of Gaming game, and then versus Giants on the Lee scene. It wasn't great to watch. It was just not great. And I feel like if Kirei does great, Misfits excels at the game completely. But if Kirei can't necessarily pull the team forward, it feels like Misfits don't have a plan B. And even though they have the very extremely great players in the top lane, in the middle, in the bot lane, everywhere, this is a bunch of insanely good players in general in the LFL. It feels like Kirei is the driving gear and the driving force for the team. He falls behind, team falls behind with him.
Well, he is definitely ahead in this current matchup. Got himself a Sheen in the makings of a Phage as he works towards that Triforce. About 20 CS up and a kill. So definitely feeling pretty damn good as the Cloud Drake does help him out a little bit as well. Get that tiny little bit of a ultimate cooldown. And next Drake, which is the Infernal, shall be coming up in just under 45 seconds. So right now, Misfits Premier, they're sitting pretty. They don't need to do anything right now until that Dragon comes up.
They don't, and they're actually ahead in a lot of their items as well. You see the Sheen has been completed for the Heracim. He's going to be hurting a lot in these engages. You've got the Catalyst for the Renekton to get the slow and the extra life still right there. And you could potentially go and fight for that Dragon because the Shockwave is going to be massive together with the Heracim. You might not even need the Renekton down there. But Pompa, obviously, they're going to have to look for a pick.
Looking for something, but Kirei is there. Ooh, Sombrero. Not that big of a deal, of course, onto Czajek. Hasn't really got many options to
It's going to be too many Shockwaves.
Too many Shockwaves, yes, of course. But Kirei just sitting around in this mid lane, making sure that that play cannot happen. You could see there with the Volibear and the Bard, they were looking for something. And because of the missing pings that went down, you can see now that Agresivoo playing so respectful towards this top side, does not want the Volibear to turn off the tower, which also could potentially lead into the Bard turning off the tower. They want to keep themselves there, but teleport is coming in. They will try and maybe go for this. The Rift Herald has been dropped.
And another one.
And a teleport coming in off of this as well. But can this Rift Herald get his charge off? He can't. That's a big blunder there from the side of Pompa team, and there is going to be more damage coming off. Do not land the Tempered Fate either from the Bard. There is still a Shockwave available. They need to be very careful. There's the Onslaught of Shadows jumping straight in. Two people feared. Kirei trying to go for something. Tree-man Shockwave, though, on top of these. Pompa team, though, want to fight. They want to try and jump in on top of Kirei. He just survives!
Oh!
Not quite. The Proto Belt is enough. And now Czajek looking to see if he can get on the flash in there from Bruness. A flash away from Agresivoo. The tower is taking down the side of the Camille, but he's not able to get it. There's a good Bard stun there. He's going to use the Magical Journey to get himself the hell out, but Czajek is not done. He's asking his teammates to get the hell back here. We know she has no flash. We know she has no ultimate. We can push in this wave. Doesn't land the kill, though, and they will eventually take him down. It ends up being 3 kills going over the side of Misfits Premier. Or sorry, Pompa team and Misfits Premier. They're struggling with this.
Czajek is absolutely smurfing these fights together with Sinmivak. We are seeing why Sinmivak was not allowed the Camille in the entire tournament. That was such a great find right there, because even though Misfits having the first say, Bard misses the ultimate. This is the goal button for Misfits. That's a great play coming in from Kirei. That's a great Shockwave landing straight after from Ronaldo. And you're like, this is it, the fight is done. But a beautiful Camille ultimate landing straight after Czajek going in as well. That was absolutely gorgeous execution coming in from Pompa. They know their limits. This is the Ultra Liga Pompa we were promised.
And that's it. We saw with Czajek, you mentioned it, how this guy is, can pop off performance. He just realized at that moment, wait, they've used everything. Yep. They haven't got anything to stop us right now, so let's just go, 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 and try and get those kills. So right now, the gold was about a 2,500 gold lead, only about 700 now, so this is really good from Pompa.
I think one of the most important ultimates for everyone to look at is the Shockwave. Does the Shockwave miss? Then whatever team you're playing against, you're allowed to go in, because this is one of the biggest ultimates in the team. We saw Paris missing a lot of Shockwaves versus Misfits. Misfits will then decimate the fight once this was down. At that point, Ronaldo hit the 3-man Shockwave, but after that, you said it, it was done. There was nothing to stop the rest of Pompa from running in. Sylas had everything up and available, and now with the Proto Belt on himself and the Trinity Force on Sinmivak, they are more than geared up for these river fights.
Bruness trying to see if he can sneak away a blue buff. Has not checked that bush with the pink ward, though, unfortunately for him. So we'll probably feel like he has been caught out from that vision just there. They are starting to look to see if they can get something here. They're confident. They're feeling that they can go for something, but everyone backs away. And I'm liking this from the side of Pyrka. He's just roaming with his jungler, roaming with his mid laner, trying to see if he can get anything going with this Bard, because Bard's just one of those champions that can just make something happen in a snap.
The thing with Bard is you can't necessarily categorize him anywhere. He does a lot of damage, he does a lot of poke, he's very squishy, he makes picks happen, but he's not necessarily a mates champion. You're like, what in the world is this champ?
Mobility.
What is this champ? What's underneath the hat?
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
I wonder if anyone really does know. Who are we underneath the mask?
It's like it's blank, there's nothing. It's just 2 eyes, but where are they standing?
feel like we're getting a little too in-depth on the character design of Bard right now. As we were going...
Sorry, it's 3 eyes, actually. My bad.
Yeah, I was just about to say... Well, we don't know if that's not 3 eyes or is it Mount.
True.
Anyway, moving on. I'm getting far too into this. They did take away the Rift Herald. That is a potential tower to be taken. However, we did see how the first one went. Wasn't fantastic from the side of Pompa team. Didn't get any plates off of it. I want to see something slightly different from them this time.
But now they can just pop in mid lane in 3 minutes' time when the dragon is going to be spawning. And since Misfits already have 2 dragons for them, if they take the third one, it will be sole point for them. So Pompa is going to have to find this space to try and fight Misfits in their own terms. A Rift Herald in the mid lane pushing will sort of split the decision for Misfits. Are we going to defend mid or are we going for the dragon soul?
Big thing, though, to notice is that you have the Blade of the Rune King onto the Renekton. Triforce finished up onto Kirei as well on the Hecarim. They're big single-ticket items being come up here. You can even see the Storm Ragers for the side of Jezu, who's going for that kind of one-hit, slow you down, catch you out kind of Caitlyn right now in this early game.
It's the Poke Caitlyn.
Yes, the Poke Caitlyn as such. We can see Kirei maybe looking for something, but it's going to coast everyone away. No need to fight for something that's not up. 2.5 minutes till that dragon. You got yourselves the Scuttlebug. Back away. Keep yourselves nice and healthy.
They don't actually have to do anything. Just keep on farming until the dragon comes up. Like we said, you're going to use the Rift Herald for some pressure either on the side lane or the mid lane most likely, and then try to go for it. You have to stop Misfits from getting soul point, and defles. He's deathless so far, but they're looking to dive him.
They are looking to dive him. They are going to go straight on top of him, and they're trying to push him back. He flashes away. Will he be able to keep himself alive? No, not quite. It is going to be the net that takes that kill. The heal has to come out to keep the pony alive in this fight. Exhaust goes down on top of Agresivoo, who has the Dominus, but overall it's a 1 for none. Dragon's still well away. They're just going to try and take this turret back away, reset, take the gold that they've just occurred.
And Jezu sees some action at the end of the day. You're having the Caitlyn, she's constantly pushing. She's taking so many tower plates into the bot lane. Try to keep on taking towers around the map, because this Ziggs will have nowhere safe to stay underneath and keep on farming. You see that the second he overextends, just a tiny bit, he overextends, but he's still technically underneath his tower. He gets decimated by the pony and the Caitlyn, and I love how Kirei dodges the Bard ultimate right there with his ulti, and then it's just a back-and-forth fight. No one else ends up going down, but they do take the tower, they take the kill, and Misfits are feeling good back on their feet.
Maybe it was a Bard ultimate, maybe not to hit Kirei, but to hit defles. Try and get him, you know, safe in his Zhonya's as such.
It was way after he flashed, though.
Yes, it was way after his flash, so unfortunately not able to communicate that effectively.
I'm trying to give them the best, the benefit of the doubt that it was for Kirei.
We're trying to see if we can just give them anything there, but this is the power of the Ziggs. You got yourselves your Mega Inferno Bomb, you've got yourselves the Bouncy Bombs as well. Makes clearing those waves very, very easy. Rift Herald spawned up in this top side. Only the Renekton really to try and defend it, so it will get its charge off, but will they be able to get anything else off it? 25 seconds until that dragon spawns. Neither top laner nor mid laner has their TP. Very, very important to note that, as it means that if it's going to be a 5v5, everyone's got to be there.
I think that Camille is going to be trying so hard to split push because you want to keep the Renekton away from the fight, because he's going to be zoning a bunch of people, specifically Czajek, who is a melee. He's going to be playing in the entire Misfits team. The Dragon, though, has spawned. Pompa wants to deny the soul point.
Our binding does land. They're going to take away the Scuttlebug, who did spawn, and that's going to go over to the side of Misfits Premier. But mid lane has reset. defles is going to be the one to push that one in. No real vision on this dragon as of right now. Bruness just checking, realizes it's now been started.
Oh, I like what Misfits have done. They've left Agresivoo in the mid lane, and all the rest of them are wrapping around. Sinmivak.
Oh, no. Just jumped straight on top of him. They use two ultimate shutdown going over to Hecarim. And they will now have a 4v5. The Hecarim ultimate has been stolen, though, by Czajek. We saw how powerful that ultimate can be. Jumps straight in on top of Agresivoo. He takes the kill. He flashes out. That's a big ultimate down for Kirei as well. He does use the devastating smash to try and get himself back in. Not able to land the Mega Inferno Bomb, though, and they will stand some more poke. And this is the power of Ziggs as well. You get some bombs landing, 1, 2, 3. You can start to do some work here. There are low health bars on the side of Misfits Premier, and I don't think they really want to take this, but Czajek this time has a blue ward to be able to catch out everyone sitting in that bush, but I feel like this dragon should be Pompa teams.
I'm not sure yet, because they have to actually find and engage, and Bruness is very low. You see Kirei is back up with his 8 SP bars, and the Orianna has spawned, making her way there. So They don't necessarily have to fight. They don't need the sole point to try and fight Pompa, but
Czajek just run in. Kirei is full health again as he had that red buff regen and he jumps straight in. Czajek trying to take out the Caitlyn, but Jezu says not today and gets the kill himself. The fight has gone on around the dragon so long that the top laners have both respawned and the dragon does go over to Pompa team. So despite Misfits Premier getting those 2 kills, they don't get the objective. But now Baron may be on the cards, or at least this mid lane. Nope, never mind, Mega Inferno Bomb.
That's the power of Ziggs. You can't necessarily push unless you have the Baron. So Misfits are going to be looking for that in a couple of minutes' time. The thing here is that Misfits don't necessarily mind giving away the Dragon because that's not the way they want to fight. They don't want to pull Pompa in because Pompa want to be set up. And if they set up for the Dragon, then Misfits cannot walk in. Oh,
they used the spell shield.
That landed on the wrong person.
Well, they tried. I think we can give a solid A for effort from the side of Pompa team. Not out of this just yet. It is only a 2,000 gold lead, or 2.5. It's crept up for Misfits Premier. Dragons pretty much delayed now for, you know, the side of Misfits Premier to stack. And Pompa team, they have got a pretty damn tanky team already. You start stacking mountains onto that, that becomes very difficult to break down.
Yeah, it's more like Pompa wanting to stack the Dragons than Misfits, because Misfits has a pretty good team fighting composition right there. They want to play around the Caitlyn. They have a lot of peels and shields and everything to keep Jezu alive on this ADC, whilst Kirei is taking care of the backline from Pompa. Now, we talked about the importance of Ronaldo's shockwave. I feel like the other person to look at from the side of Pompa would be Czajek. He's been extremely instrumental in these fights, and even though he went down trying to kill Jezu, that bought enough time for Pompa to steal away the soul point from Misfits. He's still strong enough. You see that Needless Lad's Rod just purchased in his kit. This man wants to go hard. He's not going home.
Well,
technically.
He is going home. Technically, he is already going home.
He could send Misfits to seed number 2.
That's true. You could play spoiler right now to the side of Misfits. And again, this is Misfits. If they win this, they need to either hope that Giants Gaming lose, so they guarantee themselves first seed, or that they beat then Giants Gaming in the tiebreaker later on tonight, if Giants Gaming are able to beat We Love Gaming in our final game of the day, our potential final game of the day. However, if Misfits lose, Giants Gaming just need to win, and they are first seed, which again, we talked about the importance sometimes. I know we said it's a very stacked group, but you still want to be first seed. You want to show dominance for your region.
Just to make it a little bit clear, basically, for a tiebreaker to happen for seed 1 and 2, both Misfits and Giants have to either win or lose, both of them. If we have a different result from one to the other, seeds have been decided by the end of the day.
Yep. And it's that simple. Misfits Premier, they're trying to see if they can get some kind of control over this topside jungle. They are pushing in as best they can right now. And overall, not looking too badly. We're seeing 2 item spikes coming in. Spellbinder finish up there for Ronaldo's Orianna. You've got the rapid fire cannon there for Jezu's Caitlyn. But on the other side of that, you're looking at, you know, as I said, like almost finished items for the side of Pompa team. They've got the nearly Leandri's Torment for the Ziggs. They've got themselves almost a Luden's Echo for the Sylas. There's plenty of things they can go for.
Almost a death stance for the Camille.
Almost a death stance. A lot of almosts there. And that's the difference in the 3K. Almost and completed.
Usually when a side laner snowballs, like Sinmivak has done now, is able to take over completely the side lane. But with how good Agresivoo has been playing this game, you cannot dive him, you cannot pressure him. So even though you have a 3-1 Camille, an item and a half ahead, you can't necessarily do too much because Agresivoo still has a tower down there. He just stays there, clears the wave. Camille can't do anything.
You saw the observers, thank you so much there for highlighting the vision around that Baron. They were setting up in a bush, trying to see if they can go for something. Bruness is here.
Camille can't do anything alone. Let me rephrase.
Yeah, she can't do anything alone, but now that they know Bruness is there, the Super Inferno Bomb going to be used to just get some vision control. Very squishy team to try and take this. As I say that though, defles forced to flash away. They will not land the Onslaught of Shadows, but it doesn't matter. It does not, as 2 more ultimates come in behind it. The combination of the Shockwave and the Ace in the hole. Great Tempered Fate though on the 2 people means they can focus out the Hecarim. The pony's down, as is the Caitlyn. This is Pompa team trying to go for it, but Agresivoo's on the backline. He gets exhausted, but it does not matter. It ends up being a 2 for 2 overall, but there's the Camille jumping straight in on top of the backline. Targamas almost goes down, but not quite enough. Agresivoo's still massive in this fight. Ronaldo still pretty much untouched, and they will push. They will find the kills if they can. They're almost be able to take out this Bard. Little Chime gives him a little bit of movement speed. He's trying his bestest, but there's not much he can do. He will get the stun, but he will go down. Ronaldo picks that one up. Ends up being a 4-for-3 overall.
That was a great fight coming in from Misfits and a great soul showing from the side of Pompa. You see right here that defles, they see you, buddy. You're all alone. He gets engaged, he burns his flash, and he ends up going down in the end. Misfits here know that there is no carry, but they're wrong, because the second Sinmivak walks in with that Camille, everything goes wrong for them until look at the placement of that Renekton. Plain frontline for his carries right there. Only the Orianna is alive. The second he sees her engaged, he pulls back with the dominance to create that space that we talked about between his carries and the threats.
3-for-2 at the end of it. I said 4-for-3, but it was not 4-for-3.
It was very close.
Very close to being. You can see so many low health bars, and while we were watching that replay, the soul point has now been hit as they jump straight back onto defles, who's kind of looked a bit, honestly, like just a farm bot right now. He's playing Farming Simulator. Hasn't really done much with this Ziggs.
But he doesn't have to, because the later the game goes, it's pretty free for Ziggs. You'll never be able to push. The objectives are going to be going down like smoke. So all you have to do is just be patient.
You gotta get to those objectives, though.
And the CS, because if you're down underneath your towers, you're not going to get CS.
And I feel like with the Hecarim just constantly jumping on the defles, it becomes very difficult. They have tools to deal with it, is probably what I'm trying to get at here. But overall, it is Misfits Premier who come out on top. They are now one dragon away from a Mountain Soul. They are trying to potentially fight over this Rift Scuttler. I don't think this is the one you want to fight for right now. Pompa team, I may be completely wrong in that assessment as they jump straight in. The shockwave used, but the Kirei's dead, and that could be the Baron. They could just go straight for this.
This is what you want to fight for, because for Misfits to push, they need the Baron minions, or Ziggs is going to clear them all out. Now they can't get anywhere near because of the Ziggs zone, and Misfits are going to try.
The problem is, though, for the side of Pompa team is that they do not have a traditional AD carry. This Baron is not quick. This is not a very fast Baron. They are going to get a little bit of a stun there onto Pyrka. Baron down to about 4,000, 3,500 HP. They're going to jump in. The Tempered Fate does not land. Baron down to about 2.5. You can see Ronaldo off to the side. Shockwave is not available. He can only use it with the Dissonance. They will get it. Smite's just too good. And that's going to be Pompa team equaling out the goal pretty much. Get themselves a Baron, get to reset.
That was very well done. Misfits needed that Baron to push. Or you can't push versus Ziggs. Pompa do kill Kirei. They take the Smite away, and they also take the Baron. You just can't get anywhere near with the threat of a Ziggs and a bot. It's extremely dangerous. I thought Ronaldo, actually, thank you for correcting me, had the shockwave there, which would have been the only ray of light on trying to steal the Baron, but he didn't have it, so it was impossible for that Baron. Well, I say impossible, we've seen Janna with Tornado steal the Baron, but at this specific point, it was kind of impossible to steal the Baron. Good stuff for Pompa. They're stalling. They're also giving on their side lane something that Camille needed to push extra, as well as 2 kills more in her kit. Death stance completed. Rainbow's side lane activated.
It's a little scary now for the side of Misfits Premier. It's not looking for that, and I've got to admit, they've looked not fantastic in all 3 of their games. Like, we felt like they should have smashed We Love Gaming.
It's not 36 minutes yet.
It's not 36 minutes yet. They still have another 7 before they fully scale and they fully become the LFL team. But, you know, We Love Gaming very much challenged them all the way to the end. Giants Gaming challenged them and took them down. And now Pompa team, they're keeping it incredibly close. Now, 2 minutes until that dragon spawns, that's when I feel like we're going to see the big team fight coming in, and where Misfits Premier are probably going to try and look to end this game. If they get that soul, it becomes very difficult for the side of Pompa team to kill them.
You know what I really like? The respect of the result from Pompa. When they played versus We Love Gaming, we saw fun. We saw Pompa having fun because they wouldn't play spoiler to anything. Here they've gone in and they respect Giants. They respect Misfits, and they're playing their hearts out like it actually mattered for the seeding.
Third tower for Pompa team goes down in the mid lane. Still have that Baron push. They're going to jump straight on top of the pony. They have stolen the ultimate from the Hecarim as well. They haven't really done a lot of damage to this Sylas at all. Tempered Fate lands onto one. Like you said, you can only spell shield one person, and that means Agresivoo might be in a little bit of trouble. Mega Inferno Bomb peppers people on the backside.
Oh!
There's the Onslaught of Shadows that was stolen. They found the Caitlyn. They may be able to keep pushing on top of this. They found the Renekton. They found the Pony. They found pretty much everybody, and this is actually disaster for the side of Misfits. But now Pompa team, you're in the base with no way out. Your health bars are low. They're gonna kill the Bard. Can anyone else get out? I think everyone else can get out. And now defles is just kind of sitting there going, lads, I've no mana. What am I going to do? And they're sitting between turrets. But great engage there from Pompa team.
That was beautiful. It started with Czajek again. He's the start and the end for every attempt from Pompa. And now that they have the Baron, they're pushing consecutively 2 lanes, taking the bot tier 2. They're going to take the mid tier 2 with Sinmivak as well. They have all the access in the world to keep on stopping that soul from going over to Misfits.
This has been the story of the solo lanes for Pompa team. Czajek and Sinmivak have just been they've looked amazing, and you can see through their scoreboard 7-1 and 2, 3-2 and 7. They've been the reason they're finding these fights, and this is just straight up they catch them.
I want you to keep your eyes on Sinmivak, on Czajek here, because he keeps that Hecarim ulti. He had it from the start, but he is being patient. The whole Pompa is chasing. He flashes the Shockwave, and when he sees the opportunity, he dives into the backline and decimates the 2 carries together with Sinmivak. This guy's Camille, again, was banned for a reason.
Here we go, though. This is the fight I was talking about 2 minutes ago. There is the Tempered Fate. It blocks out 2 of the people there, and they are not going to be able to get it. That is not so potent. It is stolen, and now the fight can really happen. There's going to be the resurrection coming in there from the backside of this fight. Not able to kill off anybody else, but Agresivoo is just left in no man's land, and he gets taken down. Pyrka not able to get out, though. They will trade a top laner for support.
Oh, Czajek wants it.
Czajek wants it. He wants to try and go in 1v4. Hasn't really got the support.
He's buying time for Sinmivak in the mid lane.
Sinmivak is pushing in. They're trying to just get them away from everybody. He has got the Morgana ultimate available to him.
He's zoning 4 people.
He's zoning them away. They may be able to get an inhibitor turret. I don't know if they're able to get inhibitor. But overall, they delay the Mountain Soul, they open up the base, and Pompa team really putting Misfits Premier to the sword.
The way they're playing their team fights, the way they have so much patience to not press their buttons, to zone, to play for macro, to play for side lane management is insane. We've not seen this Pompa before. This is the first time we see them polished and clean. Haha, polished.
You crack
that wasn't meant to...
you crack yourself up as much as I do.
Because I didn't think of it.
You heard yourself say it and
I was like, oh no, I didn't.
Oh my God, I'm a genius.
No, I was like, oh no, I didn't.
But I completely agree. I think the solo lanes have looked fantastic. I think, you know, defles has looked really good at absorbing the pressure that's thrown onto him. Hasn't looked amazing, but definitely done his job, as you've said.
The thing is, they're not relying on defles. They came through the play-ins, and it was defles that was undying the entire time. He was popping off on every single pick.
Czajek is a little bit caught out there. Will not get hit by the Dark Binding, but maybe caught out by there. The Hecarim jumps straight in. Agresivoo trying to go for it as well. Another very good Tempered Fate does delay everything. We can see the Camille is on the backside, and Targamas has no spell shield, which means Targamas will go down. And that is a good reactionary kill for Pompa team coming out here. Misfits Premier. They looked a bit desperate there. They looked like they were trying to find something, and they just weren't able to get it. And one thing I wanted to just call on before that fight came in, nobody on the side of Misfits Premier has any magic resistance. None. So Czajek is just burning through health bars if he gets onto this. It's insane.
He's also the biggest bait I've ever seen in this tournament. He takes every single ultimate from Misfits and gets out alive from it. Sinmivak is allowed to clean the fight by taking down the Morgana. Black Shield or not, you ain't doing anything to that Camille anyway, and the Baron is gonna go for free to the side of Pompa because Misfits cannot walk into the jungle anymore because they were 4v5. Now the push starts, now Misfits start sweating.
This is scary.
But this is where they perform, where they start sweating.
I was going to say, this is where they normally just turn around and go, all right, guys, we're going to change gears, back up to 4th and 5th, get ourselves right up to 100 miles an hour. But I still feel with the Sylas able to steal out a Hecarim ultimate, the Onslaught of Shadows, it's 100% AP ratio on that ultimate, which means that if anyone's caught in the middle of it, they are down to half health 100% because they have absolutely no way of stopping it.
Just one Mercury's onto Kirei and that's it.
There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And you're against a Ziggs and a Sylas. It just feels a little bit unfortunate that they're just going to be caught out from this. But Targamas has to use the Dark Black Shield on himself, has to flash away, and Czajek is feeling himself right now. Just pushing in, does not care about anything or anyone. Just pushing himself forward. There's a Tempered Fate perfectly placed onto Ronaldo and Jezu. They cannot move. They cannot go anywhere. It's all on Jezu and Ronaldo, but they are dead. It's a triple kill for the Camille, and this could just be the game.
This could definitely be the game. Pompa are actually playing opposite to Misfits. If Giants win the next game and Misfits lose here, they lose their first seed.
Game's not over just yet. We're still waiting for those minions to push in onto this inhibitor turret. Just give it a little bit of extra time for these death timers, but they are not short by any means whatsoever. You have a Ziggs, you have a Camille. You can go for this. The TP will be available for the Sylas as well. They're going to maybe push for it there. Shockwave is massive though, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. I don't think it is. Pompa team pushing themselves towards these Nexus turrets. One has fallen, two is sure to follow. They only need the Nexus to play spoiler, and they will take it. Pompa team with their second win on the day. Misfits now in trouble.
Now in a bunch of trouble, because Will of Gaming are going to have to take revenge on Giants for them to be tied, for the tiebreaker to be played to decide the seed. Right now, Misfits are number 2.
Yeah, and honestly, from their performances today, they don't deserve number 1.
You know what? I'm not gonna sit on Misfits because this was Pompa's last game in the tournament. Yep. Mad respect for showing up big, taking down the number 1 seed from the LFL, the most dominant region in this EU Masters, and taking them down in this fashion, allowing Sinmivak to play the Camille. He's showing why you shouldn't allow him to play the Camille. Czajek on that Sylas, where has this been? Defles absorbing all the pressure and then all the playmaking coming out from Bruness and the support. It was insane performance. And again, the respect of the seeding coming in from Pompa. The fact that they know that this game matters and they didn't just go in for the jokes, they didn't just go in to have fun, they went into play.
Yeah, and we'll break that game down a little more. We're going to throw it to a quick break. When we return, we will talk about that far more in depth. Do not go anywhere.